Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. Lemniscate Rickardo. This is Group H last and final match here, and it is the best of 3 series between both of these players who are looking very good and in very good standing into going for the playoffs. So basically, whoever wins this series goes to the playoffs, and we will have the live draw of the playoffs brackets after this series. So hope you guys stay tuned for that as well. A lot of extra hype. The playoffs, the schedule gonna be up next week. Actually gonna show you guys the schedule now while we have the opportunity. So there we go. So this is cycle 1 schedule. We're kind of done with the group stage already. Now all you need to do look at is the middle column. You have all the way down at the bottom there, you can see a little bit of a cycle playoff schedule, and you will see that it's starting next Monday at about 8 PM GMT plus 8. Do note all the timings are at GMT plus 8, and it's gonna last all the way to Friday. Friday, if you're from Singapore or if you're in Singapore, we have a very good gathering event at Alienware Arena, our venue sponsor. So just head down there for a little bit more of a catch up, like just hang out, chill out session where you get to watch some good Hearthstone and you get to play some fantastic mini games there as well. You get to order some takeouts and just basically have a bit of a gathering there. It's called a gathering for a reason, right? So yeah, that's that. So that's basically gonna be cycle 1's playoff schedule, and we're gonna do a live draw later. And I do believe most of the players who have qualified for the cycle 1 playoffs is gonna be on a little bit later to just witness that. That's it. Babael here, gonna be a host for this next up and coming game. We have with us a pretty interesting series, and that's Lemniscate against Rickardo. It would be the best series in this entire group H here. I hope you guys will enjoy this. Let's say Lemniscate a little bit more famed for his warrior deck, which he kind of mercilessly used to take out Attoken. And we have Rickardo, who just showed us both his shaman deck as well as his rogue deck. We're gonna have the game start real soon. Unfortunately, because this is a one-man production plus a one-man cast, I cannot do much of anything without talking and typing at the same time, so I cannot multitask. So if you find any moments of awkward silences, you know I'm off, and I'm off to do something else. Yep. So that's it, man. Rickardo with the rogue that looks like some of the chat comments said that they are pretty good. It's like AP drops rogue. I'm not so sure if it's the same rogue, because the rogue's card pool are kind of small, like the other guy in chat kind of agreed. So that's okay. And the other way, we are looking at his shaman deck, which is pretty standard as well. Doesn't have much of a rock biter combo there, but pretty good. Lemniscate on the flip side, I think I've seen his warrior deck, pretty interesting. His shaman deck is very basic as well. His warrior deck is the control warrior, which is why it's interesting. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna start this here. Yep, so the game actually gonna start here. It's the first match between Lemniscate and Rickardo. We have an overwhelming amount of views today out of the group stage. I do believe today is one of the most amount of views that we had. Definitely enjoy the company here. Thank you for tuning in. We're gonna have a lot more exciting games coming up real soon. In fact, the cream of the crop is gonna be starting this whole series. I think it's gonna be starting at about next week Monday, where it's called the playoffs, or the group winners gonna be there. They're gonna try their best to own that town. Not sure how it's gonna work out, but yeah. And even then, we have the grand final season finale. That's after cycle 1 and 2, and that's gonna be, I think, on the 12th of April, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So that's it. We have a game, guys, and it's first game here out of the best of 3 series. Best of 3 means the first to 2, and we have Rickardo using his warlock deck up against Lemniscate's warrior deck. So effectively, I think he actually changed his deck across all 3 players here. So he is using a deck that we've never seen before every single time he faces off against someone else. But the main difference here is that the bad news is that he's actually gonna have to show everyone his decks, and which in return he's gonna have to use the same decks at playoffs. Makes him a little bit less feared as an opponent as compared to those who actually showed the full series of the deck there. So yeah, he actually has a Drexus here and also a Molten Giant in his deck in his hand, so that's good. For Lemniscate, I would say that we immediately see the Ysera coming out, which is a clear indication that it's a control deck, like I said before. I would definitely want to see a Slam here, but yeah, he can use it for 2 mana, just a Shield Slam. But a 4/8 Twilight Drake value is just so good. He's got Execute as well, he can kill it very easily, but I think he's gonna opt for a nice and simple shield block here. That's gonna give him about 9 shield already. And I'm just happy that we're using Rickardo's bot because Lemniscate does not have the best internet connection, coming from Philippines as well. Rickardo's from Singapore, where I think the internet connection is slightly more stable. But that's good news for all of us viewers here. Yeah. Lemniscate again taking top bot, and Rickardo's gonna be at the bottom board here. Just because Lemniscate's in fact, everyone in Group H internet connection is not as good as Rickardo's. And his internet connection is not even very good. So yeah, that's why we're gonna have to use him bottom bot, in case you guys are wondering why. So that's that, and we have about 9 shield up on Lemniscate. Lemniscate is just buying some time. He's getting as much cash flow as possible. Here comes the 3-drop Mountain Giant, look at that, and even the Mortal Core is going to be used. So that's going to draw 1 card for Rickardo as well as 1 card for Lemniscate. Lemniscate picks up a Fiery War Axe, Rickardo picks up Ancient Watcher, which is perfect because I think he's going to have some synergy there as well. The thing is that he doesn't have the Defender of Argus, but he's got Silence, and he can use it already straight up with the Iron Beak Owl. He does Inner Rage the Mountain Giant, sorry, and it means that it's gonna get executed as well. Acolyte Pain comes out, pretty fair. Armor Smith, so he's gonna Inner Rage his Acolyte Pain, which is gonna be able to give him 1 extra card, and gives him 1 armor as well, because of the Armor Smith value. Hellfire probably is gonna be able to wipe out 1 of them, but not both. And he needs to be very careful going to this play here. This is the ace match, guys. It's the ace match between Lemniscate and Rickardo. It's not, it's the ace series, sorry, not the ace match. The ace match is when we have 1 apiece here going on. Yeah, there we go. So Lemniscate there with 9 mana there. I would say Rickardo is looking for a silence next turn. He's gonna play a Sylvanas Windrunner here, which is good. It makes Rickardo reconsider if he is wanting to silence that there. Definitely there's room for the Drexus play in the next 2 turns. He just needs to make sure he stays alive for that. He's gonna silence Sylvanas first. Is he gonna after that silence his own Ancient Watcher? That's the question. There's a high possibility that he's not gonna do that because Sylvanas probably is gonna be able to just pick off this Ancient Watcher. The Warrior on the flip side is just looking so good. Because of the increased armor, he has about 39 armor there. That's disgustingly good for Lemniscate. Grommash Hellscream comes out again, but I think he already expelled 1 or 2 Inner Rage already. So that's why it's in a bit of a not so good stand there for Grommash. But it's okay, I think he's got double Whirlwind in his deck, so he can still get it pissed off and, you know, do a little bit more damage there as well. Or alternatively, he's got some Cruel Taskmaster and he can run into his Grommash, which is good. But meanwhile, he's actually gonna sacrifice his Armor Smith here to take down the Iron Beam Owl, and he's gonna use the 5/5 deck in the face of Rickardo. Rickardo's just down to about 18 health here. The thing is, playing against Warrior, Rickardo cannot afford to just have too low health, simply because you know, Warriors just can one-shot kill in 1 turn with very effective mechanics like Grommash Hellscream dealing 10 damage with Inner Rage as well. He does have 1 extra Inner Rage left. I'm not sure if he used up both already. I think he used up 1 and 1 alone, so that's fine. Shadow Flame is a pretty good card to draw here, but it's not gonna have maximized value. He's got Drain Life, which kinda does jack for him. Going for Mountain Giant, he's not confident it's gonna survive. It's gonna make more sense if he goes Mountain Giant plus the Molten Giant. Both Giants out is the best play here. Yeah, but that's it. He should be able to play the Mountain Giant because he just life tap there into an extra card, so that's great. And it's gonna silence his Ancient Watcher, which means it's probably gonna deal 4 damage there. And he figured it's about time to address the beefcake there on War Machine Rocks, which is Lemniscate's deck name. Yeah, so he can cleave here. for Lemniscate. He can pick up the 4-5 with his Sylvanas Reinhardt, but it's probably gonna die. I would expect Rickardo to go with Drain Life to pick up the kill on Sylvanas Reinhardt, which is gonna heal him to about 18. But Lemniscate, what he can do here also is that he can, I mean, he have to address the Mountain Giant. It's not a choice there. One effective way of doing so is to really, like I said, run the Sylvanas Reinhardt into the 4-5, then cleave, then execute. And you just get done with that. The bad news is that he cannot play any of his big cards after that. Like, he cannot run the Gorehowl, nor can he run the Grommash Hellscream, nor can he run the Ysera. So all of which are definitely in a bit of a bad spot there. The other thing he could do is he can Think Master over Spark the 8-8, making it a 5-5, in which his 5-5 can then kill. Would have been so fantastic if it wasn't silenced. But there we go, Cliff's gonna run here. And I believe it's gonna be executed. The Mountain Giant. Yeah, and a 4-3 there, still standing. What's Lemniscate gonna do? Is he gonna run it into the Ancient Watcher? Nope, it's actually, I think it's pretty good to just equip his Fiery War Axe to go for the Ancient Watcher here, and using the 5-5 to go for face, which is pretty good because the 5-5 will still have full health here. And yes, it means that he's gonna take a bit of a beating, but I mean, he's got 10 armor, man. What's armor? You know, it's perfectly okay. So yep, there we go. Double Drain Life can be used here, but no, I think he didn't use his Fiery War Axe. He used his Sylvanas Reinhardt that got silenced, knocked into the Ancient Watcher, which is great. But here comes the Molten Giant. It's the third granddaddy of the series already for Rickardo. In fact, from his deck here, it's all these big ass monsters just keep coming up. Of course, Electroza can nicely lower the health of the warrior to about 15, but effectively his armor is still gonna stay. So that's why. Yep, and Lemniscate now. If he runs Gorehowl, it's not gonna do anything for him. I would say Think Master over Spark would be a pretty good play here. He can then equip his Gorehowl to knock into either the 5-5. If it's a 1-1, he can use his 3-2 to address it. But it definitely needs to kill the 8-8, or rather change it into some form or another. I hope it's a 5-5 or a 1-1. It's a 1-1, so Lemniscate gets luck here. It's a 50-50 kind of a trade-off here. So he can just use his Fiery War Axe to address it. Not much of a trouble there. It beats equipping a Gorehowl. It's also going to be able to armor up here. Very well played by Lemniscate indeed. He is making all the right choices so far. And now back to Rickardo. Rickardo's hand. We're looking at Defender of Argus there, and he is looking pretty good, pretty strong so far. Electroza can come out here to burn down his opponent, and that's like the 4th big minion that Rickardo has played already. The bad news about playing Lord Jaraxxus first is that, as in Lord Jaraxxus in a Warlock deck first, is that if Lemniscate has a Warlock deck, I'm not so sure if he has one. No, he doesn't have one, so that's okay. I mean, there is always the ability of Sacrificial Pact that can basically kill the Lord Jaraxxus straight up, in case you guys do not know that. Yeah, now you do. So Lemniscate is just down to about a total of 24 health. And he's got limited options here because his hand has only got 4 cards. He can go with Ysera, they would effectively not die to the 8-8 Electroza. But Siphon Soul is just waiting for him there, so he needs to be very careful. If he plays Grommash Hellscream, he cannot get it pissed off. That's the problem. If he plays the Great Bull, the Karn Bloodhoof, he can probably have a bit of board advantage there, but that's just it. He also will not be able to overcome this 8-8 problem that he's facing right now. Brawl is going to be the only straight up answer against Electroza, but the rates and odds of success is pretty much 50-50 here. He can go for the damage on the face first and then Brawl, which is perfectly okay. Or he can use his Think Master over Spark as well as his Gorehowl to pick up the Electroza, but that's not ideal because he's effectively going to lose almost all of his armor. He's now at about 11 armor. That's okay. All he needs right now is something, maybe a Shield Slam to pick up the Electroza. Yeah, so Rickardo now has the opportunity to use Siphon Soul, and if he does do that, it would be an instantaneous Ysera coming out from Lemniscate. He can also go with the Ancient Watcher and Defender of Argus only the Ancient Watcher. That's okay. He needs to decide if he deems the double 4-5 1-in-1 a little bit too dangerous there. He's actually gonna just proc it there. So the 4/5 comes back out here, and he will have the ability to pull off the Defender of Argus, but it's not gonna be enough, I think. That said, there is always the possibility of him running the 8/8 into a Ysera and then using the Shadow Flame, but then if there's a need for that, I guess going for Drain Life here would be pretty okay for him. It's not gonna be a very good standing, but it is gonna be very bad because he's at about 19 health, and it's pretty much a bit of a good range there. Yep, so he runs the 8/4 into the 4/5, which gives him buck control, but that means that Lemniscate still has got a total of 26 health right now. Lemniscate draws into Ragnaros. Ragnaros can come out here if he can pick up the 8/4. He's gonna use Grommash Hellscream, which is the perfect counter to Alexstrasza at full health right now, simply because he can deal sufficient damage to Alexstrasza, but will not die as well. However, if he does that, there's always the opportunity of a Mortal Coil coming in from Rickardo. So there we go. Mortal Coil is gonna be the absolute cheap answer here. He's gonna use that there, and I believe, yeah, he can Sylvanas Windrunner here and Ancient Watcher. Lord Jaraxxus would be a bit of a play, but may not be the best play, simply because he's like at 19 health right now, and if he just lowers down to 15, he's actually gonna be facing lethal against Ragnaros, against the Gorehau in hand. So Alexstrasza, Lord Jaraxxus is not gonna be the play here. He needs to be very careful. As long as there's a weapon in hand for the warrior, it's gonna be very dangerous to play anything that's like around 15 health level there. So here comes Alexstrasza for Lemniscate. It's effectively not gonna do much of anything here. It's actually gonna kill Sylvanas Windrunner first because it makes more sense that way, and it's gonna play Ysera as well. Sylvanas steals no one. Ysera comes out, dreams a card. Lemniscate picks a Nightmare. Nightmare is good, but you need Dream to make sure the minion's safe. If not, Nightmare, it would only deal 9 damage plus 7. Effectively, he can win this game the next turn. But Rickardo has got Defender, Argus, Sunfree Protector. The thing is, does he go into Lord Jaraxxus mode? If he does, he's dead. Straight up dead. More dead than he can really imagine here. Rickardo. Can Lemniscate be the only dude to win one game from Rickardo? Now, if he goes for Lord Jaraxxus, it's more than that here. There's no doubt about that. 9 plus 6 is 15, it's lethal. Rickardo needs to really think about this one here. What I would suggest is go... Oh, okay, there we go, Lord Jaraxxus. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that, yeah, there is no more Grommash there, but there is the opportunity of a Ragnaros. So unless Rickardo picks up the 412, no, he actually thinks it's safe, but we all know he's not, because the Nightmare is going to be able to win this game here. Shield Slam as well. Yep, there we go. It's going to be a 9-17. Ysera strikes, Ysera goes, Gorehau picks up this game, and Lemniscate wins 1-0 against Rickardo. Rickardo loses his first game of the series, and it's an intense battle here at eHL's Group H. It's the final series, in fact, and we're looking at both players playing fantastically well. It's just one hell of a series, really. Oops, sorry, gonna have to change the score for Lemniscate. Lemniscate wins one game up, and we're gonna have the next game starting real soon. It's Rickardo asking for a short little break here. Oh, sorry, Lemniscate asking for a short little break here. But I'm gonna use this opportunity to talk a little bit more about the deck there. Of course, it could have went other ways, but Lemniscate's Control Warrior was just so good. It's insanely crazy. It just kind of managed to keep everything under control, while Rickardo's Warlock just got knocked off the board here. Now, Rickardo could have had a better opportunity there if he didn't play the Lord Jaraxxus. The main reason why he played Lord Jaraxxus, I feel, was that he thought that was the opportunity moment there. He doesn't know Ysera dreamed a Nightmare. What are the chances, man, of Ysera dreaming a Nightmare? It could be Dream, it could be Laughing Sister, it could be Ysera Awakens, all of which would not kill him. No, sorry, I lied. Ysera Awakens would kill him. So that's the case there. And like I said, unless it kills the Gorehau, there's always the opportunity that if you play a Lord Jaraxxus, you are in dire momentum there. So that's why it's interestingly good. That's it. Lemniscate, he just played it fantastically well. It started off very good for him because of the extra armor, and after a while he got Ysera out. After a while, Grommash Hellscream, fantastic play there as well. And I guess Rickardo just had the heavy burden of having to deal with all this armor that the warrior has. Now, moving forward, Rickardo has got 2 decks left, of which both we've seen already. And this is the ace match for Rickardo. There is no room for mistake here. If Rickardo loses this Lemniscate with a clean 3-0 victory across all the other participants in Group H, he's going to go through to the playoffs. And he will be the first ever Filipino in the cycle playoffs, which makes him really the oddball out, and making him a bit of the underdog here in this local, or rather regional tournament that somehow just became local because of all the other 7 cycles having only Singaporeans in it. Sorry, all the other 7 groups having only Singaporeans in it. So yeah, Rickardo, his teammate Trinity from Impunity already qualified for the playoff. There's a lot at stake here. Waiting for Lemniscate to come back. But yeah, we are definitely looking at very good stuff coming up here. So yeah. And I guess Lemniscate's back, so game 2, guys, gonna be well on the way. We're looking at very good results here so far. Lemniscate, man, this is just exciting because personally, I'm kind of split down the middle. I want a Filipino in my cycle playoff in terms for this eHL, but at the same time, Rickardo is a very good friend. So Babael is gonna abstain. I'm not gonna decide who's gonna win this. I'm not gonna give my opinion at all. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second game of a best of 3 series. It could be the final one if Lemniscate win. If Rickardo picks this home, it's gonna be an ace match where Lemniscate will have a slight advantage going into the 3rd game, knowing Rickardo's deck or rather class already. So there we go. It's gonna be the rogue up against the warrior. So using aggro against aggro, this is gonna be a really exciting and interesting series. Good luck, have fun, guys. Lemniscate from Philippines gonna take the top half of this board. He won the first game already. Rickardo down south gonna be the rogue here. And looking at the starting hand, for sure, I would say that Lemniscate have a pretty interesting starting hand. It's got a good shield block there, a pretty good Acolyte of Pain. It's gonna help him get a little bit more cards as well. He can coin out the Acolyte of Pain here, or he can just coin into a shield block, which is not gonna make any sense at all. But he's gonna go Cruel Taskmaster, and that's gonna kill the 1/1 across the board here, which is fine. Rickardo, on the flip side, will have the next turn. He has, as compared to Lemniscate, an even worse starting hand. He's got Harvest Golem there, but not much of a synergy yet. It's basically, he's got double Eviscerate, which is good. Double Eviscerate is not bad, but you need those low drop cards to combo it very early on, which is why it's not fantastic. Yeah. So let's just say that both of these players don't have a fantastic starting hand. But for Lemniscate, it could have got a lot worse because he has got so much, high value minions. High drop minions, not value, like Tessera, Gromash Scream, Alexstrasza. All of these are in his deck, and if all of them were in his starting hand, like we saw before in the earlier match, it would be one hell of a nightmare. Yeah. Now Rickardo has Eviscerate. He's gonna be able to kill the 2/2. He wants to get a bit of a bug control across here. He just hero powers, but he doesn't attack. Probably don't see the point of going for the 1 damage. If he draws a deadly poison, he's gonna be able to milk on that. Here comes the Shield Slam, which was completely absent in the previous game. Acolyte of Pain is gonna get played as well. He can coin into a slam, into slamming his own minion there, which is gonna give him a total of 2 card draw, which is definitely good value there. It also makes sure that the Acolyte of Pain is gonna at least draw 2 cards. Do note that statistically wise, Acolyte of Pain draws about 1.5 times. 1.5 cards, but it's I know it's crazy, right? How can Acolyte of Pain draw like 1.5 cards? But yeah, this is how it is. So he gets a 2 card from the Acolyte of Pain, 1 from Shoe, 1 from Slam, not Shoe Slam, 1 from Slam. So that's giving a bit of card advantage so far. Rickardo again, hero powers up and end turn. Lemniscate with the next turn here. It's gonna just shield block for extra card draw. I like Lemniscate's warrior deck because there's a lot of card draw in this one, and it is just slowly building momentum towards the mid and late game. It kind of gives you a lot of armor. It's an interesting warrior deck. a little bit unorthodox, of course. Most of the warrior decks so far in eHL that I've witnessed are all basically the pretty Reina decks that we call, or variations of Reina deck, where you have Nightblade, you know, and a lot of good damage across the board, just dealing good damage onto the opponent. It's pretty fair there, but I guess it's okay. SI Agent comes out, deals 2 damage onto not Growmash there, onto the warrior. Lemniscate takes a little bit of damage, but should be fine. And he's actually gonna address the SI Agent straight up there. Takes a bit of a damage further, but he plays the Karn Bloodhoof, which is good. Defender of Argus comes out as well. We see a Blight Knight in the hand of Rickardo, but it's not going to be effective against the warrior deck because the warrior don't have much of the Argent Squire, none of the Divine Shield stuff going on there. So yeah. So now it's up to Rickardo. Rickardo having, well, he's got double Defender of Argus, but he doesn't have a good minion that can play right now, and I think he's just gonna go for the Eviscerate into a dagger there, but it's, yep, it's gonna kill that there. He could have attack, but that would give him a little bit, that would make him take some damage, which is why he kind of refrained from that. Learning from his lesson from the previous game, Rickardo knows that if his health is too low, Lemniscate is probably gonna just eat him up alive. That's right. Now we have a 4-5 mini, a small little cow on the field. Feels like a farm already, but yeah. Eviscerate can be played here. And he can take 1 damage now, take 4 damage now to just address the little son of Kain Bloodhoof there. Defender of Argus is gonna come out here, buffing the Loot Hoarder, and I would say Rickardo is in a very, very bad spot. Yeah, it's just in a very bad spot right now. Because he doesn't have much cards left in his hand. Lemniscate on the flip side has got a lot of cards. It's got a very good advantage so far. So yeah, that's gonna be easy cleave there. And the 1-4 is gonna be sleeping, so it will not be able to address our Defender of Argus, but here comes the Fiery War Axe, and Lemniscate maintains a very healthy shield count there. That's about 5 right now, with about 24 health, so that's okay, he just went back to 7, so that's like 31. The Archie Commander can kill the 1-4 there. Yeah, there's just no two hoots about this right now. He's actually going for face instead of going for the 1-4. And that barely just stripped Lemniscate's armor away. So now we have a pretty interesting situation where the Sisters of Armor Smith gonna be there. Shield Slam gonna be used, and it's gonna just deal sufficient damage on the Argent Commander. It's gonna go down there. We have also the 3 damage dealing Fiery War Axe just killing off the MSI Agent. And now it's I mean, both players are down in terms of card advantage to about 2 cards in hand and 3 cards in hand. That's basically it. But the difference is that there are 2 Armor Smith there that's just giving armor to this warrior. That's very interesting. Like, there's nothing he could have done right now. He's gonna have to take play both of his cards, and even the Black Knight will not have much available. Here comes Grommash, I'll scream. And Grommash will not get enraged yet, but I think that it's probably gonna get executed, the Black Knight. But it's gonna give him a total of 2 armor first. Execute's gonna be used, and 1-3. Grommash Hellscream comes out. It's still not game, but Grommash is pissed off right now. That's a 10-7 Grommash there, and it's effectively gonna be game. Rickardo may not come back from this. He picks up Leroy Jenkins. Leroy, and I mean Leroy can pick off the Grommash Hellscream with the dagger in hand. That's gonna deal 7 damage, but as a return, Rickardo's gonna be down to just about 7 health. It's not as if he's got much of a choice, which is why he's dreading his play. Well, in fact, he's not gonna kill those Grommash first. He's gonna kill off the other minions here. So I guess he knows it's done. He's just waiting to call concede here. And it could be a 2-0 clean series for Lemniscate. Lemniscate is going to be... There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Rickardo's out of the group stage here. Is going to be out of the playoffs as well. And Lemniscate going to be the winner in this series. It unfortunately is not going to be a, well, a 3-game series. It's just a very simple 2-0 sweep here by Lemniscate from the Philippines, of course. Doing a fantastic job. And he will officially be the first player into the, well, playoff for Cycle 1. So that's it, man. Wow, what a game it is. In fact, I'm just sweating already, but yeah, Rickardo could have done a lot better, but picking the rogue, like I guess like some of the players in stream did say, it's one hell of a decision there to go to rogue, trying to out-aggro the warrior that basically isn't even aggro to begin with. It's just buying time. It's a control warrior. Rogue on the flip side, I mean, Rickardo's rogue is also not exceptionally aggro. It's not a miracle rogue, it's not those kind of rogue there, but I would say that it just didn't fit the bill there. And Lemniscate wins this group, so we have finally some extra colors in the playoffs. I'm actually going to be preparing for the draw. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Give me a little bit of a short break here. Babael here, going to be back with the cycle playoff draws, live draw for the brackets. And hope you guys enjoy this coverage here. It's a bit of a solo cast, that's why it's a bit painful. I lost my brain. The brain was supposed to be Lark, but Lark is not there. It could have been Seth, but Seth was missing. So, ended up it's a solo one-man cast. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Nonetheless, I'm more of a hype caster, so pardon me if I kind of overhype some play. It's occupation that has it. That's it. See you guys in 5 to 10 minutes. We're gonna be back, and really thank you to all the viewers who just managed to stream, or rather managed to just come into the stream right now. We got an overwhelming amount of viewers. This is after all a C League, and